Thank you for the question, and good morning all. First of all, thank you, Bianca, for inviting me to this conference. I've never met a more fierce and purpose-driven conference organizer. You really invited me, made me feel welcome, and also arranged for me to meet as many authorities as possible over the past days. So for those of you, because I know that there are people like journalists in the audience who do not know the system of guarantees of origin, let me briefly, and you can put on the next slide, introduce the topic of guarantees of origin. So basically, it's a system that exists in European legislation since 2001. It's a system whereby the physical flow of electricity is decoupled from the attribute it has. So a unit of green electricity is produced by, for instance, a wind turbine, and at the point of production, the meter readings are sent to a national registry where a digital certificate is created that holds all the attributes of the energy, which production device it's from, when this production device entered into operation, a unique certificate number, etc. Why has this been invented? Well, it's very hard for a consumer to procure green energy physically when they are, for instance, located next to a nuclear power plant. You cannot track electrons over the grid. And that's why this system of decoupling electricity and gas and the attributes of it has been put into place. So the system has been introduced in Renewable Energy Directive. The latest recast, the RED III, as we call it, was approved last year. And apart from the basics of the GO, there is also the supplier disclosure obligation that is attached to it, meaning that when an energy supplier provides a green electricity project to an end consumer, they must buy guarantees of origin and cancel them, make them void in a national registry to the amount corresponding to the amount of power that has been supplied. Let me check whether I can change the slide. Yes. So in 2018, the same principle has been laid down in the European legislation for gases being biomethane and hydrogen. As you know, Europe is, especially since the Ukrainian war, is really focusing on becoming independent from Russian power, Russian gas. And we observed a big push and a big interest also in the direction of this well-functioning system of guarantees of origin that allows for investments to be made in renewable energy production, even if the consumer is not located directly next to that power plant. Same as for electricity, also for gases, the disclosure obligation has been introduced in the gas package earlier this summer, meaning that when a supplier provides a green gas product to an end consumer, they must also buy gas GOs and cancel them. This whole disclosure system also has to be supervised. So when you implement a system of guarantees of origin in a country, it's not just that system, but it's also the disclosure supervision that needs to be implemented. You could say, yeah, there's a European legislation. Well, why isn't this enough? Well, a picture shows it. In order for a European system, a pan-European system that connects all national systems to work, in order for it to be functional, in order to organize some international trade of these guarantees of origin, which has always been the intention from this European framework. In order to do so, you need standardization, because otherwise you will end up with all kinds of IT systems that are not compatible. Also, all countries are implementing the European directives differently, so some standardization is needed, and that's where AIB comes in. We are one of the rare birds in Europe. We operate a system that is not operated by Europe, not by a European agency. No, this is a system that is operated by the member states. So all member states have joined forces and have jointly standardized this system of guarantees of origin over the past 20 years. With a lot of success, we currently have 38 members. 31 countries within Europe are connected. Europe is the European Union, but also the EFTA countries, Iceland, Norway, and Switzerland. And the contracting parties of the energy community are also involved. We have Serbia, for instance, as a full member. We have Georgia as an observer. Ukraine, and the map on screen is not correct. Sorry for that. Ukraine has joined as a member and is currently implementing the system of guarantees of origin. Within the EU, indeed, we only have Poland, Romania, and Malta, who are not yet a full member of AIB. So there's some work to be done. With the introduction of the system of gas GEOs, we have currently 7 full gas members. So there's also a system of guarantees of origin for gas, and also storage is harmonized and standardized. So if Romania plans to develop storage facilities, the guarantee of origin system for storage issuance is also in place and can be rolled out in Romania pretty swiftly by just following the standards. Because what do we do? So basically, as a non-profit organization funded by membership fees, so we're not commercially funded, we are funded with taxpayers' money from all of our members who are appointed by their government to administer a system of guarantees of origin. We have 3 pillars. We have the AIB Hub, which is probably why we are known best. It's an IT platform that connects the national registries. Every one of our members operates such a registry of guarantees of origin, and instead of having that registry to connect to all the other members, there is a one-to-many connection that we built, and it's called the Hub, the AIB Hub. Through this hub, the GEOs are transferred, so we facilitate transfer through standardized transfer protocols, standardized data format, what the data fields on the guarantee of origin are standardized as well, and we monitor those trades. We do fraud checks because there is such a thing as VAT carousel fraud that is a risk, and we also extract some statistics from it. The second and major part of our work is the standard. So jointly we developed the EEC standard, which is basically a booklet that tells you how a system of guarantees of origin looks like. If you implement that standard in your country, you're good to go and you can become a full member of AIB. And then we have a system of quality assurance, so we audit our members. So AIB goes to each and every AIB member together with another member to see whether the quality is right. And these 3 pillars together have resulted in a system that is currently worth more than 1.4 billion euros annually. Some statistics there. So these are the figures up to August of this year. You can find them always on our website under market information. By the end of this year, we envisage that 1 petawatt hour of renewable electricity will be certified under our system. It's mind-blowing. Transfers are mounting, it's imports and exports together are more than 1,400 terawatt hours last year. What we also see is that less and less guarantees of origin expire, because you must know a guarantee of origin only has a lifespan of 12 months after the production. So the use of GEOs is increasing throughout Europe, also due to, for instance, PPAs driving the market. And we see that less and less GEOs expired. Moving on, because I know time is scarce, we observe that there is a growing interest in GEOs. We see rarely PPAs without GEOs anymore. The legal obligations from Europe are also reinforcing the need for GEOs. There is not only the supplier disclosure obligation, but also the large consumers will have to prove the origin of the energy they consume. The basis of that is in the CSRD and in the draft Green Claims Directive. We see growing certified volumes, and we see also developing market platforms. Now, what about Romania? Over the past days, it was really good to get to know the stakes that are at stake. It was good to get to know the challenges, And I think the momentum is there for Romania to move into drafting the legislation and putting the system in place. After all, the transposition deadline of RED III is next year in May. So there is a need to implement the Renewables Directive anyway. So by doing so, it's the perfect opportunity to make sure that the whole legislation is in line with what the rest of Europe has been doing so far and set up a functional geo system that is also compatible with the rest of Europe. I know there are concerns about double support, about over-support, about prices that raise, but as I have explained at my meetings with the ministry, look at other countries. Come to our meetings, and I will also put you in contact with the relevant persons. For instance, Denmark, for instance, the Netherlands, Germany, they all have CFDs in place that are awarded with GEOs. All European countries have faced the challenges that you're facing. All the European countries are facing the fact that they don't want to offer double support, and there are ways, multiple ways to draft and craft your policy to overcome this. Now, AIB is not a policy maker, we just facilitate. So as for my part in this story, I just will connect the ministry to the relevant persons to draw inspiration from. But as far as we are concerned at AIB, there is our role in helping Romania join the European system, because there's a whole system that needs to be set up in line with the standard. And there we will assist UNRE from the beginning to the end. We have successfully done so for so many other countries over the past 20 years. So I'm very hopeful that also for Romania, we will manage to get there. What do we need? We need sufficient willpower. We need sufficient resources. And if you have that, then you can move swiftly. What is swiftly? Well, I always provide the example of Slovakia, who's done it in 6 months' time. But that was really a wonderful example of how swift you can go. I think realistically it should be rather from the point of deciding the implementation 1 year, 2 years, because obviously there's a lot of things that need to be implemented, including, for instance, a registry, an IT registry, for which a tender has to be held. So there's a lot of practical things to arrange as well. This being said, I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to come to Romania and explain what AIB is doing and how we can assist, how we can inspire the authorities to move forward as swift as possible, and how in that way we can also accommodate you, PPA developers, large consumers, without having to be afraid of the GEO. The GEO is a tool for disclosure. The GEO is not a financial support tool. This is my main message. It's a legal instrument dedicated for disclosure and designed to do so. So yeah, that was in a nutshell, I think, what I wanted to explain to this audience. Happy to take questions afterwards.